Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching and listening right now in the podcast. Today is Monday, January 19, 2026. I wanted to come here about this breaking news that's coming out of India. I wanted to come here and speak to you guys about that because it's very hard to believe, right? They're saying over there that in a 10-day rampage, an elephant has been terrorizing a village over there, and it already had killed 10 people. So I was like, how is that even possible, right? Don't get me wrong, I know elephants have, they're massive animal and they have the ability to kill, but they also they're also kind of like big and bulky, and they're kind of like not hard to to overcome. I guess you can say, if you use, I'm not trying to get graphic here, if you use some type of weapons, right? Or some type of trap that they can set to an elephant. So it's just kind of hard that this has been going on, like I said, for 10 days already, okay? And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about before I continue. I want to say thank you so much, excuse me. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening right now using Spotify. Don't forget to follow Julissa Designs podcast on Spotify. And you can also leave me a comment. I'll get to the comments, especially on YouTube. I'll get to the comments at some point. To be honest, I sometimes have to be mentally prepared to read some of the comments, so that's why I kind of push that off a little bit. Because it could go either way, right? Either really good or extremely opposite. So I do want to say thank you guys so much for listening on Spotify and following the podcast. It's important for you to follow the podcast because that way, every time I make a new episode, you get a notification, okay? The same thing to everybody who's watching and listening right now using YouTube and YouTube podcasts. Once you subscribe, you get a notification every time I make a new episode, and you can also leave me a comment there. And like I said in my previous episode, if you're interested on seeing the collection Julissa Designs, you can just visit the main website, which is JulissaDesigns.com, and there you can see photos of the shows that I've done. Um, and you can visit the store there too, so you can shop online. And also, I do have an Instagram account for the brand called Julissa Designs there, and I do update it very frequently, so you can connect with me there, or you can also see what's the latest thing on the brand, what's coming up for New Year Fashion Week. So I do thank you guys so much for supporting Julissa Designs, the brand, and the podcast and the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. So, like I said, I think I had come here before and I told you guys that the animals are going to start showing signs, right? Um, Signs of the ends of time, right? I think I said I did a video not long ago, maybe a month ago, about a dog attack, right? And how more than ever, more frequently, we are hearing about owners, right, that are fully experienced dog owners for years and years, right? Some of them are even trainers, some of them are even dog sitter, and suddenly the dog that they have for years turns on them, right? And it's kind of like this person who believed in their dog for so long and said to everybody, they're good dogs, they're very well behaved, they're trained, and suddenly the dogs turns on them and actually either kill somebody in the household or kill the owner, right? And you hear that once in a while, and you're like, okay, that's very strange. But lately, that's what I was referring to. We've been hearing more and more that situation happening more often, right? And in my impression was that what I was saying on my previous episode about this was, I believe the enemy is going to use animals to turn on people, right? As we get closer to the second coming of the Lord, right? And this situation in India, let me read you guys the article. I was like, I cannot believe it, right? Because, in my growing up, like, I think I saw elephant a couple times when I went to the circus in the Dominican Republic. And I always wanted to see one, and I remember seeing them and just the ears and their massive body, right? And I was like so impressed by it because they're so present, right? But they're so like calm in the sense that they're just don't get me wrong, I get that they have their moment, like that can they can get very fast too if they're threatened or they are after something, right? I guess you can say I'm not an expert on elephants, but from what I remember as a child when I first saw one in person, and I remember asking my mom, I want to go see the elephant specifically, right? And they finally took me to see it, and I remember seeing the massive body, right, and just the ears and like the legs. But I'm like, oh my goodness, they're so big. But I was like, they're very present, but it's not like they. It seems to me, I don't know how old I was when I saw it. I was like, they seem to me like they're not really like harm. They can harm anybody, right? And this thing, right? It makes me wonder, like, what's going on over there that they have an elephant terrorizing a whole village. You would think it's like a person with a gun, right? Taking people hostages or things like that. Already killed 22 people. And he's terrorizing the village. So let me read you guys this here. Chaos in a small town in India. A killer elephant is still on the loose. Still on the loose. Following a terrifying rampage, leaving 20 people dead in just 10 days, including an expert who was calling to stop it. Are you serious? I'm just learning this right now. Because I'm like, maybe those people need like expert to go over there. Like I said, they're calling it village in India, right? Remote village. So maybe they need like the people who are trained professionals to go over there and take care of this. But that person already had gone there and got killed by the elephant. What is going on? The elephant went rogue, it says here, in Chaibasa, a district in India, Jharkhand state. And I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. It says here, it began attacking villages on New Year's Day. A couple and their own two children were trampled to death as they slept in the village. The following days, and the number of victims has already risen. The animal is terrorizing. It overtakes people trying to flee on foot. Um, more deaths are more deaths were confirmed, according to the press, with terrified residents now being told to stay indoors and stay clear of forested areas. Right? Officials completely lost control of the situation. I mean, very clearly. I cannot believe like they're saying to you, um, because I mean, I cannot even picture that. Stay indoors because there's an elephant on the loose. You know, unless this elephant is like super fast, and but from my, I'm not an expert. You can comment if you know more about it, about this topic. But they seem to always walk calmly and slow, right? And they're saying stay away from the forest area, and the people there are terrified, right? Even specialist teams from other towns were rushing to help, but they couldn't stop it either, with one expert fatally injured while trying to manage the elephant. Wildlife officials now believe the animal is a sub-adult male in must, I don't know what that is, a hyper-aggressive hormonal phase, and maybe lashing out while trying to find its way back to its mother. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Um hmm. They believe it's a hyper-aggressive hormonal phase that is the elephant is in, and trying to find its way back to the mother's herd. Says here, other officials believe the young bull is in the mating phase. According to the press, authorities are on high alert as search teams race to track down and subdue the out of control elephant before it kills again. Hmm. You know, I also understand too that A lot of these animals, especially elephants that we see at circus, like I said, I saw them when I was younger in person. They get, there have been reports throughout the years of them animal rights group being saying, you're not treating them right. They're going through all this training, and they're not. And that's why sometimes we see videos of them at the circus or another presentation turning on their during the presentation, turning on people and even going into the crowd, right? Kind of like this fed up state, right? Some people about this case were saying that they definitely did something to the elephant, right? That's why he's acting like that. Um, I'm trying to think, how come this hasn't been resolved yet? 10 days, 22 people dead. Experts are coming in and trying to figure this out and they get killed. That says a lot right there, right? Um, that says a lot. I mean, I'm sure it will be terrifying for people to live in the area. Some people are saying on the internet they did something to him, right? Or they're trying to, or he obviously, you know, went through some type of bad training or something like this. But it's still very odd that it's been so long and he's still in the loose. I'm trying to see any comments from people here. And I do apologize if you're watching YouTube about the noise here coming in because of my heater just turned on. It says here, a lot of people though, I gotta say, reading some of the comments from different platforms, people are saying I'm up for the elephant, I'm team elephant and things like that. But you have to think about it. It's already been 22 people that died, right? That's some serious stuff right there. People are terrorized. Some people are staying on the roof of their house. That's how scared they are. So, this is it's a very dangerous situation. I wonder, can they just put him, in a van and bring him back to the wildlife forest where he normally, the rest of the other elephants are? Isn't that what you see, like when there's like a bear on the loose, right? They call animal control. The other day I came here too and spoke about the loose monkeys that were going to the lab, and it took a while for them to catch up. But monkeys are so fast and so, you know, they can hide anywhere, right? They're very smart, very quick, and they can hide anywhere. That's a different thing compared to this. An elephant, you can't miss it. You see it coming, right? It's just very strange behavior. But when I see things like this again, I tell you guys that definitely I believe the enemy is going to use animals in the last days to come against us. That's why we see so many dog owner attacks. I just heard about a dog owner attack that happened in New York. Probably another man who was like, I love my people, so they're good to me. That had it for years, they never do anything, and now he was found dead in his apartment because of people, right? And it makes you wonder, like, what's going on, right? It's like that. There was a young girl not long ago. I think it was during the fall season, the fall season that I came here and talked to you guys about. She was dog sitting, right? The dogs were good all the time, and she's like, okay, I'll dog sit for her friend or something. They were going away, and she mentions to her mom the dogs are acting a little differently, right? And that comment, that text, I think it was the last text she sent to her mom, said a lot because obviously there was a change in behavior that she was able to notify, to recognize, excuse me. So that tells you right there. I do believe, you guys, that the enemy is gonna use definitely animals during the last day to come against us. So we just gotta pray. I pray that the people in India, in this village, that somebody will get there with the right team, right? With the right equipment to, there's a word that they use when they do this to animals that are out of control. I'm not saying to kill them, right? But like euthanize or something like this. I'm not sure about that word that they use, but like to control the animal, bring him back to whatever village he was in, into his, safely able to be there without guarding, right? and that the people get their safety back. That's crazy. 10 days, 22 people killed, and people still, experts are still coming in and trying to help teams of experts. So that's very strange. So if there's an update about this case, I'll probably come and tell you guys about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening to the podcast. God bless.